Welcome to English X on ICRT, brought to you by Mandarin X and Vine Education Company. English X is where managers learn to discuss international business topics in English and to start thinking more like a boss.
欢迎收听 ICRT English X， 每周四早上由中文课和葡萄藤国际语言训练中心特别企划，让您掌握全球商业趋势。
Good morning, everyone. I am Russ, and welcome to English X. With me today is not Ting. With me today is Zachary Widgren. Hello, Zachary.
Howdy.
Or should just Zach?
Zach's fine.
Zach, or Lala eats Lala?
Lala eats Lala.
Lala eats Lala.
All good.
You don't know what that means, but we'll let you know exactly what that means in a second because we have a special topic today. We're going to talk about art in Taiwan.
Yep.
Hashtag like a boss. Each week we talk to real-world bosses to find out their secrets for success.
现在到了每周 English X 访问时间。
I met you at a Samsung event, right? What were you doing there?
I was there working. They had a AR app, Doodle app, and they ended up finding a dancing guy on my Instagram that they liked, and it just all snowballed from there. And so I was just wandering around. My Chinese isn't so great, and it was all a bunch of Taiwanese YouTubers and stuff that I didn't know. And I was just like, I saw you come in and go to the food. I was like, all right, I can finally talk.
A bearded foreigner going straight for the food.
Yep, gotta eat.
Yeah, that's what you said. A dancing guy on your Instagram. For those of you curious, you can visit his Instagram at Lala Eats Lala.
Yep.
And what is this dancing guy? This weird dancing guy?
It's actually a mullet guy and like a 80s leotard kind of Borat looking guy dancing, just doing a shuffle. And he's actually got wiener arms because I didn't feel like drawing fingers. So it seemed the right direction to go.
And so how would you describe your art? Like right now, for those of you watching us on YouTube, you can see some of his artwork online. For those of you listening to us on podcast or on radio, I recommend you go find us on YouTube or you visit his Instagram page. Can you tell us can you describe your art to us?
I would imagine my art is a bit of like combine an avant-garde look with honky-tonk like vibe and attitude. Mixture of like I want to combine lowbrow, highbrow, all of it where I can do some drawings that are more like a serious meditation and also make a fart joke at the end of it. Because if anyone knows me pretty well, I say I don't know a lot just because it's like I don't like just being like, what would it be? I know everything.
I don't know.
I hear myself talking sometimes. I'm like, God damn, I sound like a blowhard, and I just can't have that. So I got to throw in the. I don't know. Now
you said lowbrow. I guess the epitome of lowbrow would be fart jokes.
Yeah. Toilet humor, fart jokes, things you find on the bathroom stall would be like. I remember seeing the Simpsons episode where Bart tricks a camera guy being like, I just read a dirty bathroom limerick on the wall. Lowbrow? Oh, so lowbrow. And the guy runs off to go laugh about it. And then he gets the camera and films, what is it, Gabbo the puppet?
Yeah, Gabbo.
Like saying awful things about the children in the town. And it's like,
lowbrow.
Lowbrow.
So what would highbrow be?
I think highbrow, like, I think often when people think of like highbrow, they think of like upper crust, like
upper
intellectual
class,
discussion, but I actually think I would like to say like there's middle brow where you hear someone think they know what they're talking about, which is like being a blowhard. Highbrow can be interesting, but it's like you can't really expand like a formal highbrow thought within like a 5-minute thing. So like I don't know, I guess that's where I go to visual art to do like the illustrations with like a highbrow like attitude, because it's like I don't want to have this 8-hour discussion about what I'm thinking right now. This seems easier to put it out this way.
This reminds me about the Beatles song "I Am the Walrus."
Yeah.
Because when they were interviewing him why he write that, what does it mean? He says he saw in the newspaper that they were teaching his songs in like elementary school and how to decipher the meaning of his songs.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, figure out this one, which
Yeah.
means nothing. They just wrote gibberish.
You
He's
gotta
like, "All
do
right,
it."
figure it out. Okay. So a little bit of highbrow, lowbrow with some middlebrow thrown in there.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta mix it up. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't want to stay in one, like being one thing. It's
Yeah.
like standing in an elevator and being trapped. Like I want to move around and cut loose, but then also like consider things deeply.
Do you figure is that kind of what art is though? Art is kind of like figuring things out with these tools that you have, be it music, art, crayons, pencils.
I would say like doing art is like, I don't know, you have cooking, you have all these different things.
Yeah.
It's like applying like an X-Acto knife and cutting your like inner dialogue apart to
Yeah.
like be like, well, okay, what does this mean? Or it's just like like getting rid of like an existential angst by
Yeah.
being productive.
Mm.
I mean, you see little kids at a park like with a stick
Yeah.
hitting a tree and singing a song. That's art to me. Like, but then also someone that's like has a magnifying glass and like doing a little tiny like micro
Yeah.
piece. It's like art's
can be
such a
art.
broad thing. It's kind of one of those like words that it feels tainted in so many ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Not tainted, more just like heavy.
Yeah. Well, that's I think this is one of the difficulties I had in thinking about it. All right, Zach, you got to come on the show. We got to talk about this because I knew we were gonna go all off topic and everything because
Mhm.
we can't generalize art.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to give something very general for art in Taiwan, but
Yeah.
there's really no basis or no thing we can. Okay, let's narrow it down to this topic. It's so just like everything.
Yeah, and I
Right.
find most like people that do creative endeavors are like lateral thinkers anyway, so it's like you'll be like the mad scientist, like ostriches, pigeons, obviously knives, then the fudge, and then oh, we're at guns, and then back to here, and this obviously all makes sense.
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
You're like, no, you're just enjoying thinking.
I'm sure our English learners that are listening to us are like, what's
What is
going
this
on here?
Yeah.
But that essentially is what art is, what you just said, lateral thinking. And this is something that's very hard to describe when people are learning a process because they think learning is, I learn first the alphabet, then I learn pronunciation, and then A and B and C, and it goes that way. But
Yeah.
it doesn't. It goes one way, and then it changes something completely different.
Well,
right?
art a lot of times ends up in the realm of like it escapes vocabulary.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's like describe something that there's no words for. And that's where if you are at a gallery, I feel like if you run into people where something's successful, they know they like it, but they don't know how to explain exactly why. And then like you said with the Beatles thing, where it's
Yeah.
like they're like cutting it apart with
Yeah.
a knife and like it means this and he's like,
No.
nah, this is like I'm trying to get closer to being able to explain like a small feeling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So how would you describe like your music? I know that's something that you're just venturing into right now. What inspires your art and your music?
I mean, I've always drawn and watched cartoons since I was little,
Yeah.
and just like associate so much with like music, and listening to music's always a big part of working in the studio. And then you start with the drawing, then the painting, and then like I said, you go to the gallery, you hang your stuff on the wall, and then you're like, oh man, well something's missing, I'll paint on the wall.
Yeah.
Then you go, oh, okay, I'll go to the ceiling, go to the floor, and then you're like, okay, lighting, what else could I add to like complete the storm,
Yeah.
and expose sort of more what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, okay, music,
Yeah.
I gotta try.
Yeah.
It, mostly because it scares me.
Okay. Okay. Now you just said something very interesting. You said you gotta try. You
Yeah.
just try it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to people who are interested in art, but like Layla that I just
Sure.
introduced you to? Layla's one of our staff. She works here. She does a lot of art, but she doesn't really like showing it to people. She just has her notebook where she's just drawing these cool
Sure.
stuff. And I said, I at least put it online or do something with it. You know, what would you say to these people that are afraid to put it out there?
You're always going to be afraid until you jump.
Mm.
And I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts where people talk about stand
Yeah,
up and getting
yeah.
in front of the crowd. It's always the same where you're kind of being naked.
Yeah.
And like just
not literally.
not literally,
Not
make it.
literally.
But the more you like jump off and
Yeah.
let it just be there,
Mm-hmm.
that nervousness goes away. Whereas
Yeah.
like now that like it's been 12
Yeah,
years
yeah,
of
yeah.
showing and
Yeah.
stuff, the
That's
visual
okay.
art, it's like, all right, like people know my ass.
Yeah.
People know like
They know what they're
kinda-
getting.
yeah, they know what they're getting into.
This happened to me. This happens to me sometimes in Taiwan. I've been teaching in Taiwan for so long, so I can pretty much teach anything at any time to anyone, right? Any level, whatever.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I go to universities and I'm teaching in the universities to the master students,
Yeah.
and it's really weird because it's half Taiwanese and half foreigners.
Oh wow.
So all of a sudden I'm teaching this like presentation or leadership class, and I'm so used to all Taiwanese people that once I see the foreigners, like, oh, in my head I'm like,
Yeah,
oh wait,
yeah.
okay.
They know.
Yeah.
They know too much.
So it takes me like a couple minutes to get into my rhythm. Okay, this is what I'm trying to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely putting yourself out there.
You just got to do it. I mean, it's like anything. You like somebody, the longer you wait to tell someone you like them, the harder it's going to be.
Yeah.
So if there's any reason for you to
pull
like
off
jump
the Band-Aid.
and just pull off the Band-Aid, put it out there, and then once you put it out there, then you're going to get so much feedback to where like if it's something you know that's bothering you that you're like, oh, people are going to see it. They're going to see it, but then they might have a solution. Like,
Yeah.
well, you could try this, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll
some
try that.
constructive criticism, some positive input. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So how did you get started with your art in Taiwan specifically? Because you're far from home. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't come here to be an artist.
Well, I mean, part of it was that I mean, I ran a rather large warehouse gallery kind of venue where we did installation, and like we would cycle through shows, and then that was ending, and I was just never really traveled, and then like
This
in
was
my
back home, right? In Kentucky.
back Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Knoxville, Tennessee, and it was like, well, okay, I know I can make people where I'm from enjoy what I'm doing,
Yeah.
but I also want to travel, and it was like, okay, well, Taiwan, there's a good ticket there. I can afford that. And then I got an exit ticket to Malaysia. And I was like, all right, let's go. And it was like a challenge. I was like, I want to go to this random place where I don't know anyone and see if I can find a place to show my art. And then I had my first show actually at Revolver.
Okay.
Back when they had a gallery space upstairs. And you just, like I said, you put yourself out there. There's people that are hungry to make things happen. And jumping into the Taiwan scene, it was a lot. There's hard parts definitely about it because there's things that get lost in translation, like whether it be your content and stuff like that. But
like describing your content, what it means, inspiration, all that stuff. Right?
Yeah, I think like now it's like when I go back, it's like, oh, how do I dip my toe back in the water here? Like I've been gone so long, and people are like, oh man, where are you at? You're in Taiwan. Like, what are you doing? And you're like, well, I'm doing art there too.
Yeah.
And being a weirdo.
Really? I can't tell by the glasses that we're
No,
wearing.
no.
No, we're not weird at all.
No, you gotta have the shield.
All right. Okay. So you came here. You started showing your art, and how did you get the name? Or you said you got the recognition from companies through your social media.
Yeah.
Right?
I love making art, but then like I said, back home I did it for 5 years. Like basically living off that. I worked at a skate shop for like 1 day a week, and then that pressure of like trying to always play poker. Like that's a lot of what making like art is like you're gonna walk to the table with your cards, and sometimes you don't. Your hand does not play. And then sometimes it does.
What he means by that is sometimes it won't sell.
Yep.
Sometimes it won't sell.
Sometimes
you do all this stuff and you get no return from it, and sometimes you get something from it.
Well, you always
So
get
there's that
something
risk.
from it. It's just maybe
Not cash.
monetarily. No, not the cash.
Not the cash. Okay.
But you live and you learn.
So what is your strategy for selling your art?
For selling my art, I feel when you're making art and you do want to do something in your career with it, being honest about what you want to make and going for that. To me, people can feel when you're trying to force or fake like an emotion. So a lot of times when you're making it, it's like you gotta quiet that greedy part of your brain and be like,
Mm.
I just want to like enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when people enjoy what you're doing and they see that you generally care about what you're doing, and not only that, like they get to forget a little bit about what they're thinking
Yeah.
about
Yeah. Yeah.
and enjoy it. People want to invest in that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a different type of investment. It's like, oh well, we have this opportunity. It like might be an
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
opportunity for a gig, or it might be like an art event, or it might be an invitation to a cool thing where you're not even doing the art. You just get to come and like watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of art, what makes it worth it is the lifestyle of like the type of people that gravitate,
Mm.
and generally like the people that really, really care in the art scene. You get to deal with that. But as far as like making it a career, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's up, it's down, it's up.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, what else would you be doing? You just be sitting and wondering what, like, I just want to go
Yeah. Yeah.
and like see what life's about, like versus like try to make it a career and be
Yeah.
like, all right, 9 to 5.
I'm making it just to make money or not. People see through you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then your art kind of has to be genuine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people like genuine and like being honest with yourself and knowing your strengths and your
Yeah.
flaws. And like when someone approaches you with a job where you know it's way out of your wheelhouse, because
Yeah.
sometimes people don't understand. Like the best way to explain it is like I do a certain type of art and
Yeah.
I know my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So it's if someone goes up to a heavy metal musician and is like, okay, we want soft, smooth jazz. He's probably like, oh, what? Like, I don't do
Why are you
classical.
coming to me?
He might be like, oh, in his own time, like, I want to try this.
Yeah.
But like, I think being honest about what you can do, if it's a little harder than what you're used to, you can try to bite it off. But
Yeah.
at least be honest about like, okay, well, I can. This is my stuff. This is what I do. Maybe understand and expect it to be in this wheelhouse.
So maybe, well, I want to get back to what you just said, your wheelhouse. What do you mean by this is in my wheelhouse?
So, like every artist like has strengths. So someone that like does like hyper realism,
Yeah.
very, very difficult. But then if you think about like this is definitely a style, then like someone to think about like taking and just like creating something straight out of their head,
Yeah.
not using references, or cartooning, like it's a muscle.
Yeah.
So if someone's practicing that muscle of that certain like style, they might not have that other style under their belt. They're different
okay.
instruments, like different styles, like you can pick up and like train yourself
Yeah.
to do it. So it's like,
So like what you said, maybe kind of like asking someone who's a musician who knows how to play the guitar, giving him a set of drums.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, play that there. It's like completely different.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Even though it's music, it's kind of like different. Everyone has their different skills.
Yeah, I would imagine it'd be more like guitar and violin.
Guitar and violin.
They're both string
Instruments,
instruments,
yeah.
but they're both very different.
The way you go about it
Mhm.
and what you eventually produce, the results are completely different.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's your wheelhouse. But sometimes you want to. How do I say this? Sometimes you have your wheelhouse. How do you get out of that? Because you eventually have to
Sure.
expand that, right? Or you
Yeah.
can't just be like, no, this is what I do, and kind of be stubborn about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you sort of go to the gym with what you already have,
Mhm.
and then maybe once something's like there and you have the muscle memory of it,
Yeah.
like riding a bike,
Yeah.
then you can challenge yourself to take on something that's not as comfortable,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
try to work it into something new. Like a lot of it's play
Yeah.
and letting, like, okay, so like in college, I was
Yeah.
painting, and when we finished the painting, we had a critique, and my teacher came up and took white paint and went, fix it. And I mean, that's where I think, like, to really learn, you kind of gotta, like,
Does she like paint it over your work?
yeah.
You didn't punch her?
No, oh, it was a guy.
You didn't punch
yeah.
him?
No. I mean, I
No,
was kind of
what?
like,
I just spent so much time on
yeah,
it.
it's kind of like, oh, word, okay. Like, I mean, I grew up skating, so I'm used to falling. So
Yeah.
it like kind of felt like, well, shit, okay, all right, let's see what happens. Like, I'm used to change, so it's kind of like go with it.
All right, so that's a great analogy for it. You started off skateboarding, so you know how to fall. What does that mean for you?
I think, man, learning to skate is probably still one of the hardest and most punishing things. And like, I would say that's why I feel like a lot of people I know that paint
Yeah.
skate. And so it's you eat shit, you fall, you get up, you try it again, doesn't work, try it again, doesn't work, try it again, doesn't work. And I think that's art is the same. You just gotta do it. And
I think life is that way.
You
need
persistence is like a characteristic that should be pushed more in school too. I mean, I think
you have to learn how to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna fail a lot more than you succeed. You're gonna look like an idiot a lot too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like even dating. You're gonna get told no a lot, and you just get you don't let your ego be so big that you can't fail.
Yeah. Ting, are you listening? I'm always bothering him. I'm always telling him, "It's like, go ask that girl out. Go ask that girl out." He's like, "What if she says no?" It's like, that's fine. It takes one yes.
Yeah, then your little heart's broken for a little bit, and then you're stronger.
That's okay.
It's a muscle. You gotta work it.
I always tell people, I always tell my students, all you need to learn how to do is fail better.
Yeah.
And this is how I learned as a computer programmer, because no matter what I write, like when I was making video games, for example, like there's going to be bugs. It's going to crash. It's going to break. So it's never going to be perfect. So I just the next time, just fail better. Keep doing it. You're going to always fail no matter what.
Well, expecting to have a magical life where everything works out. You don't go to see any movies where nothing happens to somebody. You gotta have some trials and tribulations or something. Adversity. Yeah. And I mean, that's what makes life. Otherwise, it's like the Talking Head song. Yeah. In heaven, there is a place where nothing ever happens. You're like, okay, well, nothing happens.
That sounds
like
boring.
A padded room in a mental hospital where you bounce off the walls and you giggle about it.
Sounds very boring, to be honest. Nothing ever happens.
So, making art and doing that, I think the best advice would just be, if you want it to be a career and you want it to be something you're going to do, schedule time to do it. And when people ask you what you're doing that night, say you're working. Because if you, a lot of, like, this, what will happen if you're like, oh, I'm painting tonight. When, like, you're younger, well, it's kind of like video games for them at that point. You're like, you could just come meet us. And you're like, no, I'm working. I got some work to do. Yeah. And treat it like, people have all this health kick of going to the gym and get in that. It's the same deal where you just schedule a day. Like, Mondays for me is drawing day. Then, like, Wednesday, like, I give myself a break in the evenings during the week. But Monday, Tuesday, work. In the evening, burning at both ends. Work till 2 a.m. Wake up at 8 a.m. Get to work at 9. Go to bed at 2 a.m. And then Wednesdays, ice cream and video games, or go have a beer with some friends. And then Thursday, back at it.
I just finished a class earlier today with a student who's now working overseas, and we're still continuing online classes. And his voice is completely different now. And I was talking to him, and I was asking, like, well, what's happening? And he has a lot of pressure now in his new job, and it's all English environment all the time. And he goes home, and even like when he goes out, it's still all English environment. So he's starting to feel a little pressure, like this is too much. And I just asked him, I was like, okay, so like when you're home, it's family time. Yeah. When you're at work, it's work time, and a lot of pressure in this diverse environment with people from all sorts of countries working together. I was like, when is your time? Like, what is the me time that you have? And he's like, he doesn't have any time for himself. And sometimes you need that just for your own mental health.
Well, you need a recovery day. Yeah. I mean, during our shows, you can't like prep for like an exhibition. Yeah. Oh, your body's not going to be happy with you. I always get sick. Yeah. And like now it's like I start pushing myself and doing that earlier. So I get sick 2 weeks before the show. And then I like kind of rest a little bit. Yeah. I'll probably like try not to work early in the morning. Yeah. But you just, that's what it is. But during you find your pace. Yeah. And you set it like your own little Sabbath or whatever, where you're like, Sunday, no work. Definitely. Wednesday, no work.
Definitely give yourself a sort of schedule. That's a great advice. And even like bosses in companies, Layla, who I introduced you to, I love her artwork. And when we hired her, she was sales at that time. Yep. And after a couple of months of working with us, like she was like, sales is just a job. I'm like, well, what do you want to do? She's like, I want to be an artist. I was like, well, do you do any art? She's like, I used to. I was like, well, why don't you anymore? It's like, because my job is sales. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, all right, how about you do sales 4 days out of the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
You give me everything Monday to Thursday.
Yeah.
And Friday, you just design things for me.
Yeah.
Design stuff for social media, design advertisements, design stuff in the office. You just
Yeah.
put all your artistic creativity into something for the company.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was kind of like a negotiation, not a negotiation, but that's something we just agreed on. This would be best for her.
Sure.
So I think everyone kind of needs, bosses need to realize that your staff have different skills, and you need to give them some me time also for them, even in their jobs.
Well, yeah,
right?
setting dates, setting goals,
Yeah.
making a day for it. I mean, and also art's like cheaper than therapy. So like, I mean, everyone's got that little angst in like a creative thing, and it's like, even if you're bad, do it. It
But-
feels good.
Really?
Yeah.
What if you're like me that has zero artistic ability? Like I can't draw stick figures. That's how bad I am.
Well, I mean, artistic ability, like that's where we talked before. Like business is a creative practice. You have to sell yourself, so you have to forge yourself in a fire and create a persona and be like likable. Is
that what the glasses are there? Your persona, you put them on, you're like, boom, Zach the performer.
I just get it's nice to hide the eyes.
They can see my soul.
Oh man, I mean, if yeah.
Okay, all right, I see that. So, what do you have? What advice do you have out for people out there that want to become artists?
Well, first, no, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. I think, there's moments where it's like things do fall in your lap,
Yeah.
but it's like luck's
Yeah.
work, or like preparation plus timing, and that's so true.
Preparation plus timing.
So,
You have to be prepared, and you have to make time for it.
yeah,
Excellent.
and put yourself out there.
Yeah. Yes, Layla, put yourself out there. I'm gonna sneak in some of her pictures on this video just to embarrass her.
Well, you also have to be prepared that people might not care, and that's it's a hard lesson to learn, because you feel like your own character in your own little movie, and you're like, you don't want to watch my movie? What's wrong with you? But I'm so interesting.
Yeah.
But I think
Find your venue for it.
find your venue, find your people, put yourself out there. That's how you'll find them. But the best advice is just you don't win every battle,
Yeah.
but prepare and enjoy it. Enjoy what you're doing when you're doing it. It's gonna punish you.
Yeah.
It's gonna frustrate you. But I always work on things in series, and I think that's a great way to develop work, is have 5 panels or 5 canvases to work on at the same time, if you want to spend more time developing and adding layers and stuff. Because then when you at the point where you're like, I don't know what to do, should stop, go to a different one.
Yeah.
And then you work on those 5, and then you can come back and be like, oh, okay, well, I know what to do now. I haven't overloaded my brain with stuff.
Yeah. Nice. No. I definitely agree with you. And I laughed earlier because of my students. I always tell my students this, and they're very shocked when I tell them, nobody cares about your English.
Yeah.
They were like, what? I was like, there's only 2 people that care, me and you. That's it.
Yep.
It's my job to care about your English.
Yeah.
But when you're out there having a meeting, when you're out there talking to people, when you're at a bar making new foreigner friends, they're not sitting there grading your grammar. They just want to have a nice conversation with you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, no one really cares. And whatever, if you show off your art and one person doesn't like it, well, screw you. I'm not making it for you.
Sure. And also, just there's so many talented people. I catch myself doing it where I'm making stuff and why am I not getting attention that I feel? And it's there's so much cool stuff out there, and when you get lucky, be grateful.
Okay.
And just being grateful to make it, having that attitude of I'm doing it, I feel good to do it, helps.
All right. Well, I hope more people find you. I'm on your Instagram page right now.
Mhm.
Where is this squiggly man guy? Is he up, down, or
The go up.
up?
It's near the top. Up.
I passed it.
Down a little more.
Down.
Around. This one.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, this dancing bullet guy.
This is the dancing rollerblading guy.
Oh, he's just got socks on.
Oh, okay.
I don't think his balance is good enough to.
So this is what attracted the attention of people.
Yeah.
Taiwan.
You never know what people are good. It's like you'll do a show and you'll be like, "Oh, I love this painting,"
Yeah.
and no one looks at it. And then the painting that you like, kind of like,
Just,
"Oh,
yeah,
no,
this
if I
one will go
really
there."
want to put this one in," and then there was that painting right there.
That's
Yeah. All right, man.
All right, good. So how can we find out more about you?
I have a website,
Mhm.
www.lalaeatslala.com, and then Instagram's probably the most updated thing. It's
Yeah.
the easiest thing to do. I usually do a sweep every year, update the website, but Instagram at Lala Eats Lala, LalaEatslala.
Awesome. All right. Thanks a lot, Zach. And right now, you have a performance up. You have not a performance. You have an exhibit up.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that?
It's at Oomph. It's near Zhongxiao Fuxing.
Yeah.
The basement of
Oomph.
Ginza.
Yeah.
I always have trouble saying the name of the place.
I
And
thought
it's
the cafe, the salon was called Oomph.
the gallery.
The gallery
Oomph,
downstairs is
it's
Oomph.
downstairs.
Okay.
It's a nice little basement space where we can paint everything. So if you like immersive
He
installation art,
literally painted the entire ceiling and the floor.
yep, can't miss a spot. And that'll be going till the 18th of January. And we have a
Awesome.
closing show on January 18th, and then artist talk, little
Will you be
get-together.
performing music at the closing show also?
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
And I got
awesome.
more time to prepare some more weirdness, so it'll be a different show.
More weirdness.
Uh-huh.
I like it. All right. Thanks a lot, Zach.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
I put cheese, Jesus napkin, eat a baby. What? Cheese. I put cheese, Jesus napkin, eat a baby. What? Cheese.